All right, Spartan fans, I'm going to try and go through a graphing polynomial problem from start to finish since we didn't get a chance to do that in class today. So keep in mind that multiplicities and degree are not the same thing. So multiplicity, I'm going to abbreviate, is the degree of each individual zero. So it is the number of times a zero occurs. 0, x-intercept, same thing. Okay, so I'm going to look at each individual zero. So I've got x minus 7 cubed. That's a factor. X equals 7 is the 0. X-intercept, 0, 7. Its multiplicity is 3. The exponent is 3. That is an odd number. 3 is odd. Therefore, we're going to cross at the x-axis. Odd multiplicity crosses over the x-axis. Even multiplicity bounces. Okay, so the next 0, I have x minus 4 to the 4th. So that 0 is going to be at x equals 4. So that's going to be 4, 0. Its multiplicity is going to be 4, which is an even number. So that is going to bounce. Okay, and then continuing on, we're going to have x minus 1. So that 0 is going to be at 1, 0. X-intercept, ordered pair. Its multiplicity is 2. 2 is even, so we're going to bounce. Continuing on, x plus 2 is the factor, so the 0 is going to be at negative 2. Its multiplicity is 1. What is an odd number, so we cross. And lastly, we have x plus 5 to the 5th, so that 0 is going to be at negative 5, 0. Its multiplicity is 5. 5 is odd, so we're going to cross. Okay. Degree, the overall degree, is all the multiplicities together. Okay, so we have x minus 7, we have 7 3 times, we have 4 4 times, we have 1 twice. X plus 2, we have that once, and then we have negative 5 5 times. So if you add those all together, let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10, that would be 15. So the overall degree is 15. Okay, so that's going to be the same as x to the 15th. Okay, so x to the 15th models the same end behavior as x cubed. How come? Because 15 is odd, their x cubed is also odd. So go back to x cubed. You know the parent function of x cubed. Parent function of x cubed, the left side goes down, the right side goes up. So do not multiply this all out, but if you did, you would have x cubed, x to the 4th, x squared, x, and x to the 5th. All of those have a coefficient of 1. So that's how I got that. It was x to the 15th. 15 is odd. Therefore, it models the same end behavior as x cubed. Okay, the y-intercept of this is some really huge number. Let's see. So I really don't care what the actual value is. I really care about just, is it positive or negative? It's not going to fit on my graph anyway. Okay, so let's go back and learn how to be efficient with the math. So I'm going to erase some of this. If you want to find the y-intercept of anything, you plug in 0. Always. Plug in 0 for x. Okay, so I'm going to erase this here. If you plug in 0 for x, you're going to get a negative number, a positive number, going to get a positive number, and a positive number, which is all going to end up, when you multiply that all together, it's going to be negative. So I've got some negative y-intercept. I'm going to plot my zeros. So I have 0, 7. I have 4, 0. 1, 0, negative 2, 0, and negative 5, 0. Okay. End behavior. So I'm next going to plot my end behavior. End. The end of the left side of the graph is over here, and the right side of the graph is over here. So what I'm going to do is, it says that the end behavior is down, up. So on the left side, I'm going to go down, and on the right side, I'm going to go up. And now from here, I'm going to graph my bouncing and crossing. So at negative, let's see here, I think I plotted this wrong. No, I didn't. At negative 5, I cross. So I'm going to go from being below the x-axis, and I'm going to cross over, and I'm going to become above the x-axis. How far? Don't know, don't care. So I'm going to come up at some point, and I'm going to come back down. Now I'm going to look at the x-intercept at negative 2. Negative 2 says I cross over the x-axis. So I'm going to cross under the x-axis, which matches my y-intercept. My y-intercept is negative somewhere. I don't care where. It's just negative. I'm going to come back up to 1. At 1, according to my chart, I bounce. So I'm going to come up from below the x-axis. I'm going to hit the x-axis, and I'm going to bounce off and go back down. This is a terrible graph. I'm going to erase it in here and just draw something a little bit better. I'm going to come up, bounce off, go down. I don't care how far down I go, but eventually at some point this graph is going to come back up. And now I'm at 4. At 4, I bounced. So same thing. I'm going to come up, bounce off the graph, and come back down. And at some point I come back up. Now, here's the deal. At, as a 7? Yeah. At 7, 0, I'm supposed to cross. Well, guess what? That matches, and I realized I just wrote that down wrong. This is supposed to be 7, 0, not 0, 7. At 7, 0, it says I should cross. Well, guess what? That matches my end behavior. And that is a very bad-looking graph of this polynomial. Okay, so we're going to do another one. Same deal, I'm going to start with my x-intercepts and their multiplicities. X minus 4 squared, that means the 0 is at 4, 0. Multiplicity is 2, 2 is even, even bounces. 5 minus x, be careful with that. If you take 5 minus x, which is the factor, and you set it equal to 0, you get x is 5. The multiplicity is 1, cross. Next I have x minus 1 to the 5th. X minus 1 is the factor, 1 is the 0. Its multiplicity is 5. That's because the exponent is 5. Odd cross. X plus 2 is the factor, which means the 0 is at negative 2. The multiplicity is 1. That crosses. And the last one, x plus 3 squared. X plus 3 is the factor, negative 3 is the 0. The multiplicity is 2, 2 is even, therefore it bounces. Okay, so all together, I've got x squared. Be careful here, negative x when you write it in proper form. X to the 5th, x squared. My overall degree is going to be 2 plus 1 is 3 plus 5 is 8, plus 1 is 9, plus 2 is 11. The overall degree of this is 11. That's odd. So this is going to mirror x cubed, except that's a negative. So this is going to be negative x to the 11th. So that's going to be, oh, that's a terrible graph, but left side goes up, right side goes down. So I'm going to plot all my intercepts. Let's see, we've got 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, negative 2, and negative 3. My end behavior. The left side of this graph goes up, the right side of this graph goes down. And then I'm going to look at my y-intercept. Okay, my y-intercept, if you plug in 0 for x, this is going to be a positive number. If you plug in 0 for x, 5 minus x, that's going to be a positive 5. X minus 1 to the 5th, that's going to be a negative. X plus 2, when you plug in 0, you get a positive number. X plus 3 squared, when you plug in 0, you get a positive number. This is going to end up being a negative y-intercept. Don't know, don't care. Right there looks good. Doesn't matter where you put it, I'm good enough. I just care really if it's positive or negative. And now I'm going to do all my bouncing and crossing. So from left to right or right to left, who cares? At negative 3, I bounce. So I'm going to come down from the left, bounce up this, come back up and down. At negative 2, I cross the x-axis. So I'm going to come down, which matches my y-intercept, come back up. At 1, I cross over the x-axis. Come up, how high, don't know, don't care. At 4, I'm going to bounce off the x-axis. So I'm coming down here, go up, don't care how high I go up. I bounce off the x-axis. So I'm going to come back up. Boing. And then this at 5, it should cross if it's going to match my end behavior. And at 5, it does indeed cross. So that's what your graph looks like. Okay, so a little synopsis of end behavior, which is probably the hardest thing. X squared, parabola, up, up. So 2 is an even number. So anything with an even degree, A, the number in front of the squared term, A is positive. Negative x squared, even. Negative x to the 10th. Negative x to the 100. Negative 9x to the 12th. The coefficient is odd. I don't care about the coefficient. I care about the overall degree. So this is going to be upside down. Even. A is less than 0. Okay, and then we've got odd. I'm out of room here. X cubed, x to the 11th, x to the 111th. All of those look like such. That's going to be down, up, and that would be A is positive. Negative x cubed, negative 20, x to the 11th. I understand that negative 20, well, 20 is an even number. I don't care about the coefficient. I care about the exponent. All of these, that's a terrible shape, go up, down. Odd degree, A is less than 0. And this is odd degree. And then this, for going back up here to even, and behavior would be up, up. And then here you would have down, down.